Chapter 8 from Arcturian Healing by Carmen Badan. Yours truly. Chapter 8 Beyond Words, Journeying with Bob. On my next trip to Arcturus, I brought Bob a pair of goggles. I know. For some reason, I thought that on our outings around the magic world of Arcturus, he would like to have his eyes protected. I was probably projecting, but in my mind, it was a great idea, and I really wanted to do something special for him. Upon my arrival, he showed up in his now usual humorous and theatrical style. "Hey there, beautiful," has become his familiar way to welcome me on the planet. I call it planet quite often, but I know it is a star, so you don't need to correct me on that, but it is what it is. I like to call it a planet. It sounds better to me. He genuinely looked happy to see me every time I decided to visit, and he was thrilled about the new goggles. During the following 4 months, I visited Arcturus at least 3 to 4 times per week. As I mentioned earlier in the book, at the time of my extraordinary Arcturian adventure, I was going through a relationship that was nearing its end, and the only thing holding me from putting a stop to it was again my own fear of repercussions. I was afraid to face whatever flying monkeys this young man was going to unleash once I broke the breakup news to him. Coupled with the collective trauma caused by the virus that the world was facing in 2020, I found myself in a state of quiet desperation, which made me feel lost and unsure about myself and the meaning of life and life in general. This is why I was so grateful for my frequent visits with Bob, the big blue bird. Our time together on the rocky platform carved out on the side of the Blue Mountain of Arcturus became my sanctuary, a place where I could escape the chaos and uncertainty of my earthly life. Safe to say, I could not wait to go to sleep at night. The stillness of the mountain, combined with the vastness of the Arcturian landscape, provided the perfect backdrop for our deep conversations. Bob, with his calm and knowing presence, always seemed to understand the turmoil I was going through. I had to often remind myself that Bob was able to read my mind, and secretly, I wished I could read his too. As we sat together, the gentle breeze and the carrying whispers of ancient wisdom that reminded me of the aliveness of the star, we would delve into discussions about life, the universe, consciousness, and the nature of existence. With every word exchanged, I felt a sense of clarity and peace returning to me, as if the answers I sought had been there all along, waiting to be uncovered in those moments of profound connection. Those talks with Bob became my guiding light, helping me navigate the uncertainty in my life and the world around me and reconnect with a deeper truth within me. Bob had an uncanny ability to understand me in a way that no one else could at that stage in my life. Every time we sat together on the rocky platform, it felt like he could see right through me, past all the defenses I had built up and all the bullshit stories I have been telling myself. He always asked the right question, probing, insightful, and just pointed enough to get under my skin and made me confront truth I didn't think I was ready to face, at least not in real life. It often felt as though Bob was peeling back the layers of my soul, gently but persistently, as if he wanted to truly know me, not just the facade I showed the world, but deep down within my inner being. I felt as if he wanted to understand not only who I am, but what my needs were and what would take for me to become my true happy self. There were moments when I felt like I was having an emotional affair with Bob, the wise, otherworldly being, while physically lying in bed next to a man I was too afraid and too codependent to let go of. The contrast was stark. While my relationship on earth left me feeling lost and unseen, my connection with Bob made me feel profoundly understood and cared for in a way I hadn't experienced before. There were times when I wondered if I was losing my mind, caught up in the strange and vivid astral experience that felt both real and surreal at the same time. Since I had no knowledge of the concept of astral travel at that time, I couldn't explain it to myself, let alone to someone else, so the fear of sharing my story with anyone was overwhelming. I was terrified that if I shared, they would think I was crazy. But deep down, I knew the experience was real. I knew I was living it. It wasn't a dream. It was as real as anything in my waking life. Truthfully, I didn't fully understand what was happening to me, but it didn't matter. For the time being, it was so healing, so profoundly beautiful, that I didn't want anyone to spoil the purity of my vision with doubt or disbelief. I clung to it like a lifeline, a sacred space where I could find solace amidst the confusion of my everyday life. My relationship with Bob was growing closer with every encounter. We found ourselves spending most of the time in this space that was carved out of the mountain, and it resembled a living room, but with furniture made from enormous rocks that, despite their size and solidity, were incredibly comfortable, almost like lying on a cloud. Bob and I would sink into these massive cozy chairs, and though the setting felt familiar with every visit, our communication was anything but ordinary. We didn't speak the way humans do. Everything was telepathic, flowing effortlessly between us. It became so natural that I often forgot Bob was a bird. His presence felt more like an old friend or confidant, someone who understood me on a level far beyond words. In those moments, it didn't matter that he wasn't human. What mattered was his soothing presence and the connection we shared, the unspoken understanding that bridged the gap between our worlds. Other times, whenever Bob sensed that I was feeling a bit unsettled, he would break the silence with a simple, "Let's take a spin around the star." Without hesitation, he'd grab me gently with one of his wings and lift me on his back. In an instant, once I would grab out onto his powerful neck, would take off, soaring through the air toward breathtaking blue vistas. The landscape that unfolded before us was always new and always impressive. New birds with radiant feathers, rivers that shimmered like liquid light, towering trees that seemed to touch the sky, and floating cities suspended in the air like something out of a dream. It was in these moments, flying with Bob, feeling seen, protected, and cared for, that I felt freer than ever before in my life. These trips always made me think of Ram Dass and his "Be Here Now" divine call to presence and awareness. The beauty and serenity of these alien landscapes were melting away any sign of worry or anxiety I had carried with me. Bob always knew when I needed to escape, to feel weightless and safe, and he never failed to deliver. On the next encounter, after I had given Bob the goggles that I mentioned before, I asked him if he liked them. He smiled and said yes. And when I asked them where they were, he reached between his feathers and pulled them out. He knew that my next question would be if he has been wearing the goggles, because in a moment of adorable honesty, he confessed with a sheepish grin that he only wore them when he was with me to make me feel good. For a second, I thought that maybe he was afraid that the other birds will think he was a dork. He explained that he didn't really need the goggles. His eyes were naturally designed to see everything clearly without them, but he wore them just to make me happy. We both burst into laughing, and my heart melted in that moment. Who's the dork now? I concluded with the grin. I grew even fonder of him, seeing how much he cared about my happiness. From then on, he'd only wear the goggle as a joke, to be silly and make me laugh. It became one of our little inside jokes, another layer to the bond we shared. Bob had a habit of quizzing me about my past relationships, and together, sunk into our comfy rock chairs, we would dissect them, analyzing every detail to uncover the lessons within. His insights were sharp, and his questions often revealed perspectives I had been too close to see. What I appreciated most was that Bob never handed me the answers. He simply asked the right questions and then sat back, allowing me the space to connect the dots myself. This approach encouraged me to look inward, and in doing so, I began to understand myself better. I started to see patterns in my choices and grasp the deeper reasons behind my actions. Each realization felt like an epiphany, not because Bob told me the answers, but because I discovered them on my own. This process felt incredibly empowering, like I was reclaiming ownership over my story. With every new insight, I grew more confident in navigating my life with clarity and purpose, learning to trust my own wisdom and intuition. Bob's gentle guidance helped me find the truth without ever imposing it, and that made each conclusion feel even more profound. In those moments, I felt like I was gaining a whole new perspective on my life, slowly unraveling the reasons behind my relationships and the hidden lessons they held. Each analysis left me feeling lighter, as if I was shedding the weight of past mistakes and stepping closer to understanding myself. Over time, I began to notice something unusual. In my day-to-day life, far away from Arcturus, I often had the strange feeling that I was being observed. People I interacted with would say things that mirrored Bob's words, and it felt as if my thoughts and reactions were being recorded somewhere in the ethereal field. I never asked Bob about it, though I sensed he had something to do with it. Perhaps I wanted to be my own quiet observer, like a sleuth, and see how it played out. Oddly enough, it made me more conscious of my actions, more aligned with integrity. I knew I should have always been living this way, true to myself and in alignment with divine creation. But at that time, I didn't realize that God was already within me. I was still ignorant of the truth that nothing is hidden from God. At that time, I was ignorant to the fact that the law, the divine order of the universe, operates whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we like it or not. Heck, at that time, I had no idea who God was, and I thought I was so far from divine guidance that I would roll my eyes when someone brought up God in a conversation. Turns out, God was always with me, and because I was stubborn enough to believe that I run the show, God had to place me in this surreal situation only to make me realize that maybe I should be paying attention to what is going on in my life. Bob was God's messenger. I mean, how much stranger can a story get? I flew my own space capsule into cosmos, ran through a very long, dark tunnel, ended up on Arcturus, a star outside the Milky Way, and met a big blue bird named Bob with whom I am having repeated metaphysical and spiritual conversations that are freeing my soul while sitting in a very comfortable living room made of rocks. Oh, and we flew over the most magical colonies of animals and birds and insects and fish and floating cities and anything you can possibly imagine. Or better yet, things one can hardly imagine. And one other thing, Bob and I were developing feelings for each other. So yes, the bells were definitely ringing and my inner Sherlock Holmes were starting to ask questions. Chapter 9. A Journey Beyond the Veil of Perception. Ooh, I'm enjoying this. They say that if you want better answers, you must ask better questions. After a few months of profound and transformative conversations with Bob, the big blue bird, After a few months of profound and transformative conversations with Bob, the big blue bird, I came to a realization. I had yet to meet any of the Arcturian beings in person. While I had seen images of them online, beautiful bluish hominids with gentle, loving faces, I had never encountered one in any of my trips to the Blue Star. I had glimpsed where they lived, witnessed the breathtaking beauty of their realm, flew over their homes, but I hadn't entered their spaces or connected with them directly. One day, it dawned on me. Maybe it was up to me. Maybe I was supposed to request that meeting. In the intergalactic realms, the principle of free will is paramount, a rule that is universally respected. No being, no matter how benevolent, can interfere in your life unless you invite them in. They can only interact with you if you ask for it or explicitly give your permission. It was then that I realized that the Arcturians might have been waiting for me to make the first move, for me to express my desire for that connection. I had spent so much time receiving guidance from Bob that I hadn't considered that the next step in my journey might require me to actively seek it out. Not that I was getting bored with my encounters with Bob, but my intuition was telling me that there is much more to the story than the two of us shooting the breeze in a rocky living room carved out of the side of a mountain with the most amazing view you can possibly imagine. One day, I finally asked Bob if I could meet any of the Arcturian hominids. His response was both simple and profound. What would be the purpose of this meeting? For a moment, I froze, realizing I hadn't thought this through. It wasn't enough to just meet them. There had to be a reason, a purpose. I surely didn't want to waste their time. I told Bob I'd come up with a plan and return when I was ready. It took a few days for me to really understand what I wanted from this encounter. The entire experience of visiting Arcturus was still so new, and I had no idea what questions were even appropriate to ask. But then it hit me. Since I was already on a personal healing journey, it made sense that I should ask for guidance on my physical, mental, and spiritual health. With that clarity, I also realized I probably needed to speak with a small group of leaders, elders perhaps, who could help guide me. I didn't know if they had brains in the way we understand, but I wanted to pick their brains, so to speak. On my next visit, I confidently told Bob I would like to meet with an Arcturian Council, someone who can guide me on my journey towards better physical, mental, and spiritual health. Bob nodded, as if this was the answer he'd been waiting for, and simply replied, "It shall be done. I will arrange for you to meet the Arcturian Council of Elders." Before I even had time to process what was happening, we were already soaring through the sky, heading towards a breathtaking building that floated above the clouds. Bob gently dropped me off on a terrace in front of the entrance. The entire scene felt like something out of Tomorrowland, a stunning fusion of technology and nature. The building seemed to be made of a bluish metal etched with intricate symbols and shimmering glass-like surfaces. There was a light, almost ethereal mist that hung in the air. It felt It felt as if it was out of this world, yet strangely welcoming and assuring. As I reached out to knock on the massive door, it swung open silently, as if pushed by an invisible hand. A gentle voice, or rather a telepathic suggestion, guided me into a large room that seemed to hover in midair. In the center of the room was a hexagonal table with rounded edges, surrounded by 6 perfectly arranged chairs. I was invited to sit with the instruction that the council will be with me shortly. I walked towards the nearest chair and sat down while eagerly watching the space in front of me. My heart was racing. I was nervous and excited at the same time, and I did not know what to expect. I could hardly believe that this magical and surreal realm was within my reach. My mind began to race with all kinds of thoughts. I wonder how many elders will I be meeting? Then it dawned on me that there are 6 chairs around the table, 5 of which were still empty. I realized with a sudden thrill that there must be 5 elders. It made perfect sense. 5 was such a balanced number, perfect for offering diverse opinions and perhaps for voting if they did such a thing here on Arcturus. The symbolism of the number 5 began to stir something deep within me. I thought of its significance. It's the number of fingers on a hand, the number of Yeshua's sacred wounds, the 5 elements, earth, water, air, fire, spirit. It's also the number of change and transformation, situated perfectly between 1 and 9. My body shivered with goosebumps as all of these connections began to unfold in my mind. I wondered for a moment if these thoughts were entirely my own, or if they were being telepathically sent to me in preparation for this profound meeting. Holy smokes, I was overwhelmed. Before I could dwell on it further, my thoughts were interrupted by a swirling, luminous, misty form that appeared in the distance, undulating through the air like a winding snake. As it drew nearer, I noticed within the mist 5 denser, brighter areas, each pulsing with a subtle, mysterious energy. As the mist approached the table, the 5 brighter centers spread out from the whole, but still remained connected, and each one gracefully settled into a chair. These were the elders. I could almost make out their faces, but it was on and off, almost like looking through a veil that obscured them, and yet I knew they were there. This veil looked like a binary matrix. It was as if the elders were encoded in a way that my sensory perception couldn't fully decipher. I could sense fragments of their essence, but the complete picture remained elusive, as if my mind wasn't equipped to translate every part of the code. Their forms were vibrating at such a high frequency that my senses couldn't fully interpret their appearance beyond the glow of their auras and the on and off flashing of the binary code. I was awestruck, completely captivated by their presence. And then, in unison, a voice, soft yet powerful, filled the room and my very being. "Welcome, child," they spoke, and the words reverberated through me, filling me with an overwhelming sense of love, kindness, and warmth. "We are here to answer any questions you have." I just got goosebumps. Ooh. I'll have a sip of tea. I love it. I was not hearing their words. I was feeling them. It felt as if their presence was not just in front of me, but within me. And I suddenly felt empowered with a sense of belonging I never felt before. Chapter 10. This is going to be epic. This is an entire channel from the Arcturian Council of Elders based on the questions that I asked them. Chapter 10. The Wisdom of the Arcturian Council of Elders. At this stage of my inner journey, I had two priorities: to learn to love myself unconditionally and to contribute to raising the world's consciousness. As the Hermetics would say, I was still drinking milk, absorbing the basics but not yet aware of the deeper truth. This was about to change after my cathartic encounter with the Council of 5 Arcturian Elders. From the countless books I had read over the past few years, I understood that life is far more than we believe it to be. There are mysteries beyond our imagination waiting to be revealed if only we understand how to seek, how to knock, and how to ask. The universe is constantly sending signs, but we must train our minds to recognize them as more than mere coincidences, but as messages from the divine. As the three initiates wrote in the Kabbalion, the lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. While sitting at the same table with the Arcturian Council, deep down, I knew that I was about to exit the milk for babes stage of my life and enter the meat for the strong man, man as in humanity, era. In this chapter, I will share a summary of my dialogue with the Arcturian Elders. My hope is that if you too are on a journey to discover your true self, the wisdom of the council will serve as a guide to help you raise your own consciousness, and indirectly, we can all raise the collective consciousness. My first question for the Arcturian Council: what guidance can you offer on how to truly love myself and align my actions with self-love in my daily life? The Arcturian Council of Elders responds: to fully love and accept yourself, you must first realize that love is your essence. It is not something external that you need to earn or acquire. Begin by accepting and embracing all your imperfections. Self-love comes from self-awareness, knowing who you are beyond the masks and judgments you place on yourself. Practice seeing yourself through the eyes of compassion as we do. And remember that every experience you have, no matter how difficult and how many roadblocks you encounter along the way, they are all a part of your divine journey. The primary block in this journey is the belief that you are not enough. This belief is an illusion created by the ego and reinforced by societal conditioning. It convinces you that your worth is tied to external achievements or validation. To dissolve this block, begin to recognize your innate divinity. Know that you are a unique expression of the universe, and your worth is inherent. Each time you forgive yourself for past mistakes and release the need for perfection, you clear the path to deeper self-love and start the process of self-healing. Healing begins with acknowledgement. Bring loving awareness to the parts of yourself that feel unworthy rather than avoiding or suppressing them. These parts are asking to be seen and embraced. Offer them compassion as you would to a child in need. Understand that these feelings stem from old wounds and experiences where you were not valued or you believed that you were not valued. By bringing love and light to these areas, you reclaim your wholeness. Know that each time you choose love over fear in your self-love journey, you rewrite your story. Begin with small acts of kindness towards yourself. Create daily rituals of self-care, whether it is through meditation, affirmations, or simply taking time to honor your needs. Speak kindly to yourself and celebrate even your smallest achievements. Surround yourself with people and environments that nurture your growth. At the start of each day, ask yourself, how can I love myself more fully today? By making self-love a conscious daily practice, you build the foundation for lasting inner peace and you start connecting with yourself. Become fully aware of the inner dialogue that is taking place in your subconscious mind. Observe the critical thoughts without judgment, and then gently replace them with words of understanding and love. Ask yourself, would I speak this way to a dear friend? Compassion is not about excusing mistakes, but about holding space for your growth. Each time you choose self-compassion, you deepen your connection with your soul. Loving yourself is an essential part of your spiritual evolution. When you love yourself, you align with your true nature, which is love. This alignment allows you to access higher states of consciousness and a deeper connection with the universe. Self-love removes the barriers between you and the divine, allowing you to receive guidance, healing, and support more effortlessly. As you evolve spiritually, self-love becomes the foundation upon which your growth is built, expanding your capacity to love others and the world around you. Self-love is also the basis of all healthy relationships. The love you give to yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. When you honor and respect yourself, you naturally attract relationships that mirror that energy. Self-love allows you to set healthy boundaries and to engage with others from a place of wholeness rather than need. It is only when you love yourself that you can offer true unconditional love to others, free from judgment, expectation, dependency, or self-doubt. In moments of doubt or pain, it is crucial to remember that these experiences are temporary, that they do not define your worth. Loving yourself in these moments means holding space for your emotions without judgment. Allow yourself to feel whatever arises and offer yourself kindness, even if it is difficult. Speak to yourself with patience as you would to someone you love deeply. Every challenge is an opportunity to deepen your self-love, for it is in these moments that love has the power to heal the most, and it is in these moments that you experience deep levels of transformation which lead to a deep connection with your higher consciousness. The recognition of your divinity is the highest form of self-love. It is the knowing that you are an expression of the infinite, worthy of love, simply because you exist. Love is not just a right that you are given at birth. It is an inherent entitlement. To embody this, you must release the need for external validation and look inward for your sense of worth. Practice seeing yourself through the eyes of the universe as a unique and vital part of the whole. When you embody this level of self-love, you transcend fear and step into alignment with your true power as a co-creator of your reality. To align your actions and thoughts with self-love, you must turn inward for validation. Trust that your worth is not tied to the opinion of others. Always think, speak, feel, and act from a place of love rather than fear. Begin by asking yourself, what would love do in this situation? Allow this question to guide your choices. When you act from a place of love, your actions become aligned with your higher self. Understand that external validation is fleeting, but the love you cultivate within is eternal. Each time you choose love over fear or doubt, you strengthen your alignment with your true self, which is the universe expressing itself through you. I then asked the council to share more about the process of inner healing and what my next step would be on my personal journey of growth and self-discovery. The Arcturian Council of Elders responds, healing is not about fixing something that is broken, for you are not broken. Healing is the process of remembering who you truly are, beyond the layers of illusion and conditioning that have been clouding your perception. At its core, healing is the removal of all beliefs. At its core, healing is the removal of all beliefs and patterns stored in your subconscious mind that have distanced you from your divine essence. The human experience is filled with learned behaviors and beliefs that are often rooted in fear, limitation, and separation. These beliefs form the foundation of your identity in the physical world, but they are not reflective of your true self. Healing begins when you recognize that these beliefs do not define you. They are simply constructs of the mind, stored in your subconscious, often without your conscious awareness. These limiting beliefs, you begin to peel away the layers that obscure your true nature. What remains after these layers are dissolved is the pure light of your soul, your eternal, limitless essence. This is why healing is a process of remembering, not acquiring. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to the truth of who you have always been. True healing occurs when you move beyond the mind, beyond the stories you've told yourself, and connect with a deeper knowing within. It is in this space of remembrance that you see yourself clearly as a being of infinite love, wisdom, and power. When the subconscious mind is cleared of these false beliefs, the veil lifts and you experience yourself in alignment with your higher self. Healing is not a destination. It is a journey of continually shedding the illusions that no longer serve you. With each belief you release, you reclaim more of your divine power and return to the wholeness that has always been yours. Remember, you are not here to become something. You are here to remember the truth of who you already are. The next step on your healing journey is to trust your inner knowing. You have come far in releasing old wounds, but now you must turn inward and embrace the totality of who you are. Healing is not just about releasing the pain, but integrating all parts of yourself, your light and your shadow. The key is self-acceptance. Love each aspect of your being unconditionally. There is no need to rush. Healing unfolds in divine timing when you allow yourself the space to simply be. Trust the process, for you are not alone on this journey. We are with you and we guide you through the process. Did you guys feel it? Oh, I got goosebumps all over. The greatest limitation you face is the belief that you are not enough. And each time you honor your inner voice and trust in your worth, you dissolve this block. Meditation and affirmations of self-worth will assist in the dismantling of this limitation. Remember, you are limitless, and the only boundaries are the ones you impose on yourself. You must always remember that you are divine. The separation you perceive between you and the divine is an illusion. The more you honor your inner voice, your intuition, and your needs, the more you will begin to see the reflection of the divine within. When you are present within yourself, you are present with the divine. When you are present with yourself, you are present with the divine. In this space of presence, the veils will lift and you will experience your true nature as infinite, eternal, and interconnected with all. Next, I wanted to know, what is my soul's mission or purpose here on earth, and how can I remain aligned with my purpose amidst the distractions of everyday life? Arcturian Elders response: your soul's mission is twofold. First, it is to experience the depth of being human, to feel, to love, to learn, to evolve. Your soul chose this earthly experience to expand its understanding of love and to contribute to the collective awakening. Secondly, your mission is to be a beacon of healing for others. You are a healer, not by title, but by presence. As you continue to heal yourself and embody your higher truth, you naturally radiate that healing energy to others. Trust that your purpose will unfold as you continue to walk this path. The key to remaining aligned is to develop daily practices that ground you in your purpose. Begin each day with intention. Ask yourself, how can I live in alignment today? Create small rituals that keep you connected to your inner truth, whether through meditation, breathwork, or simply moments of reflection. When distraction arises, return to your breath and remind yourself of your mission. You will find that the distractions lose their power when you focus on the greater vision. Purpose is not a destination, but a way of being. And the more you embody that purpose, the less the outer world can pull you away from it. I then asked the council how humanity can evolve into a more harmonious and conscious species. The council's response: humanity evolves through unity and compassion. The illusion of separation is what causes much of the suffering on earth. As more individuals awaken to the truth that all beings are interconnected, harmony will naturally flow. The first step is cultivating compassion for oneself, as this creates a ripple effect that touched others. When humans learn to treat themselves and each other with love, understanding, and respect, the collective consciousness will rise. Each act of kindness, each moment of awareness contributes to the awakening of the whole. Remember, the shift begins within each of you. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and compassion is its greatest expression. The global challenges you face are symptoms of collective fear and separation. Love is the antidote to fear. Each time you respond with compassion, you raise the vibration of the situation, creating space for healing and transformation. To shift the world, begin by shifting yourself. When you embody love and compassion in your daily life, you inspire others to do the same. This ripple of love has the power to heal communities, nations, and the planet. My next question to the councils were: what role do the Arcturians play in the spiritual evolution and healing of planet Earth, and how can we connect with them to aid in that evolution? Arcturian Elders' response: we are here as guides, not as saviors. Our role is to support humanity in remembering its divine potential. We offer healing, wisdom, and energy support, but the work of evolution must be done by the people of Earth. To connect with us, all that is required is intention. Call upon us in meditation, in prayer, or in moments of stillness. We respond to frequency. So when your heart is open and your intention is clear, we will assist. Each soul we help to awaken heals the collective. You are co-creators in this great shift. The integration of Arcturian healing energies begins with stillness. Our energies flow through your subtle bodies, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual layers when you align with a frequency of peace. Begin by creating moments of quiet where you can connect to your breath and allow your light to enter your head. Visualization is powerful. Imagine a stream of blue and white light enveloping your body, healing each layer. With this practice, your physical ailments will ease, your mind will become clearer, and your spirit will elevate. Arcturian energies work best when combined with the intention to heal, evolve, and awaken. This led me to my next question. In the event of a disaster, if humanity were on the verge of destroying itself, would you intervene? Arcturian Council's response: we understand your concern, and it is one shared by many awakened souls. Our role, however, is not to interfere, but to guide, to offer wisdom, and to support your evolution from a distance. Humanity's journey is one of free will, and every decision made, whether on an individual or collective level, contributes to the unfolding of your collective destiny. We do not intervene in a way that disrupts the natural flow of your evolution. This earth experience is a sacred opportunity for growth, and it is through challenges, even potential disasters, that humanity learn, evolve, and awaken. awakens. Intervention in such a direct manner would take away the responsibility humanity must bear for its choices, which are key to its growth. However, we are always here offering energetic support, guidance, and frequencies of higher consciousness to those who are open to receiving them and are not afraid to ask for our help. You are never alone. We send light workers, starseeds, and those who resonate with higher frequencies to assist in the upliftment of consciousness. The more individuals align with love, unity, and wisdom, the less likely it is that humanity will move towards self-destruction. Remember, the future is not set in stone. You, as a collective, are powerful co-creators of your reality. Our role is to empower you to realize that the power to shape the future is within you through every choice, action, and thought aligned with love and higher consciousness. This brought me to another question. Does my access to your star and our communication suggest that I am an Arcturian starseed? The response of the elders: the fact that you have been granted access to our star and are able to communicate with us speaks to your deep resonance with our frequency and consciousness. Whether or not you identify as an Arcturian starseed, know that you carry a significant connection to our energy and wisdom. You are aligned with the mission of elevating consciousness, not only within yourself, but also for the greater collective. Being an Arcturian starseed is not solely about origin, it is about purpose. Many souls come to Earth from different realms, dimensions, and star systems, each with their own mission of healing, teaching, and uplifting humanity. Your connection to Arcturus may be rooted in your divine design, a soul contract, or simply a vibrational alignment with our energies and values. Regardless of the label, you are here now with a purpose to integrate the wisdom you receive, elevate your consciousness, and share it with those around you. If you feel the call of the Arcturian starseed, it is likely that you have chosen to work closely with our energies in this lifetime. Whether you embody an Arcturian origin or not, your soul has aligned with the principles of unity, healing, and higher wisdom that we, the Arcturians, hold dear. Trust in your path and in the guidance you receive. You are here for a reason, and your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. My mind was racing. If I identify as an Arcturian starseed, what would be my next step in fulfilling my mission? Arcturian Elders response: if you identify as an Arcturian starseed, your next step on your mission is to fully awaken to the truth of who you are and embrace the responsibilities that come with this recognition. As a starseed, your mission is twofold: personal evolution and service to others. The more you evolve, heal, and align with your higher self, the more you can assist in raising the collective consciousness. Begin by deepening your connection to your soul's wisdom. Spend time in meditation, in nature, and in practices that attune you to your inner guidance. You are being called to integrate Arcturian energies of compassion, unity, and higher dimensional understanding into your life on Earth. This integration is a key part of your mission. Next, share what you know. You are here to uplift others, to remind humanity of its own divinity, and to serve as a beacon of higher consciousness. This may manifest as teaching, healing, creating, or simply holding space for those around you. Trust your intuition to guide you towards the areas where you are most needed. Remember, the path of a starseed is not always easy. You may feel out of place in the world at times or experience the weight of humanity's challenges more deeply. But know this, you are never alone. We and other higher dimensional beings are always with you, offering guidance and support. Stay grounded in love, be patient with your journey, and trust that each step you take aligns you more closely with your purpose. As you continue your path, seek to align your actions with the higher principles you resonate with: compassion, healing, unity, wisdom. Through this alignment, your mission will naturally unfold and your presence will serve as a light for others. With my heart pounding, I gathered the courage to ask my next question. What is my personal connection to Arcturus? I asked the Arcturian Council of Elders directly. Arcturian Council's response: your personal connection to Arcturus runs deep, far beyond your current lifetime. You are a soul who has walked among the stars, and Arcturus is one of your spiritual homes. You have chosen to incarnate on Earth during this critical time of awakening, bringing with you the wisdom, energy, and frequency of Arcturian consciousness. This connection is not accidental. It is part of your soul's plan, a calling that you have had throughout your existence. You resonate with lifetimes that exist within the Arcturian realm, and because of that, you experience higher dimensional teachings and healing. These imprints are activated within your soul, which is why the energy of Arcturus feels so familiar to you. Your ability to access Arcturus now, in this lifetime, is a reminder of your soul's lineage and your purpose to bridge the wisdom of higher dimensions with Earth's current reality. You are a vessel through which Arcturian frequencies flow, and your personal mission is to embody and share these energies, whether through healing, teaching, or simply by being a presence of light for those around you. Your connection to Arcturus is both a source of strength and a reminder of your higher purpose. Trust this connection, for it will continue to guide and support you as you navigate your path on Earth. I didn't want the meeting to end, uncertain if I'd ever have the chance to meet with the council again. So I asked the council, what powerful advice do you have for me and for humanity as we continue our paths to growth and awakening? The most powerful advice we can offer is simple yet profound. Remember that you are love. Everything you seek, healing, wisdom, peace, exists within you because love is your essence. The greatest challenge for humanity is the forgetting of this truth. You have become distracted by fear, division, and the illusion of separation. But as you awaken to the love within, you will naturally dissolve these illusions. For you personally, the key to all growth is self-love. Love yourself not just in moments of joy, but especially in moments of challenge and doubt. This love is not conditional. It must flow freely without judgment or expectation. The more you love yourself, the more you align with your higher self, and in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. For humanity, the path forward is unity. Each soul is a reflection of the whole, and until humanity realizes this, it will continue to experience division and suffering. The world can only heal when each individual chooses love over fear, compassion over judgment, and unity over separation. Our final message is this: trust in your power as a co-creator of reality. Every thought, action, and choice you make ripples through the collective. When you align with love, you not only elevate yourself, but you elevate the world. You are never alone in this journey. The entire universe supports your awakening. At last, I gathered the courage to ask the Arcturian Council of Elders one final question, a question that has puzzled mystics, philosophers, scientists, and visionaries for millennia. It had stirred restlessness in me since I was a young girl, when I decided I could not believe in a God who instills fear in his children. Does God exist? And if so, who or what is God? Arcturian Elders' response. God, as you perceive it, is not a singular being, entity, or figure. God is the source of all that exists, an infinite, all-encompassing consciousness that permeates everything. It is the essence of creation, the unifying force that binds all life together in perfect harmony. God is not limited by form, time, or space. Instead, God is the very fabric of existence itself. Humans often seek to define God in ways that align with their understanding, giving it form, personality, and even human traits. But God transcends all definitions. It is both within and beyond all things, existing in every particle of matter and every breath you take. It is the energy that fuels the stars, the force that animates your body, and the love that flows through your heart. To experience God, you must look within. The divine spark lives inside you, just as it lives within every living being. It is not something you seek externally, but rather something to recognize in the stillness of your soul. The very question of whether God exists is answered the moment you turn inward and feel the vastness of your own existence. We, the Arcturians, understand God as the oneness that connects all beings in the universe. It is not separate from you, it is you, and you are a unique expression of this infinite consciousness. The more you align with love, unity, and compassion, the more you will come to know the truth of God, for God is the higher vibration of all, pure, unconditional love. I could have talked to the council forever, but I knew that the meeting was over. I was physically and mentally exhausted, a humbling reminder of my human nature. My mind was swirling with the immense wisdom the elders had bestowed upon me, and yet beneath it all, I felt a profound sense of surrender and peace. With my full heart, I thanked them for their guidance. Almost in unison, they responded, "We love you, child. We are always with you." Their words penetrated deep into my soul, filling my heart with warmth as tears of gratitude flooded my face. I felt their love, acceptance, and assurance at a depth I had never experienced before. I stood up, drawn towards the ethereal presence before me, feeling of overwhelming love for the elders. In that moment, all I wanted was a hug from each one of them. Somehow, I knew that such gesture was not part of Arcturian custom. And yet, here they were, extending their auras towards me with so much love and acceptance. And dare I say, joy. Wrapped inside of their ethereal presence, I could feel their healing energy permeating my body. It was as if their very essence flowed into me, soothing every part of my being. The sensation was overwhelming in the most beautiful way. My entire body buzzed with a vibration of bliss and love and giddiness so intense that I could barely stand. Slowly, their presence began to fade, dissolving into the field around me, leaving behind a powerful energetic connection that felt like a steady resonance pulsing through every cell of my body. I suddenly realized how exhausted I was. I needed rest. The overwhelming intensity of the experience was more than my mind could process in the moment. My last thought before falling asleep was Bob. I couldn't wait to see him again and thank him for making this encounter possible and tell him how much he means to me. I fell asleep with a smile on my face. I couldn't have been happier in that moment. And I would have never guessed that something was about to change very soon.